loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Dallas-Fort Worth. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show, where for the last 16 years we have brought you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. We're out of sunny Florida, but I have most of my family lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we have heard the weather has been so bad there. In fact, I didn't even think we were going to have a show today, but we're live. We've got a great show for you. The Victory Wellness show today. And we've got Casey Sartori. Good morning, Casey.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Good, buddy. I love that radio voice of yours.
Well, I'm a little under the weather, so maybe it sounds a little deeper than normally would.
Understood. I heard you've had some icy roads there.
Well, there was a guy ice skating down the street this morning, so.
Oh, gosh.
We're pretty well iced.
Listen, I lived in Dallas, and I think it was in 2014. We had the worst ice storm. If you had a slanted driveway and you parked your car on there, it would be in the street when you woke up in the morning. It's really bad, but we're going to be talking about Victory Wellness today, and your company is one of their suppliers. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. So I'm with Orthomolecular Products. We manufacture dietary supplements available exclusively through licensed healthcare providers. I work closely with Dr. Walden and her group there at Victory Wellness MD.
I got to tell you, it is especially this time of the year, Casey, weight loss is the number one topic, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, typically, yeah, you get the resolutioners and their weight loss goals. The weight loss conversation has changed since the injections came about, where it's kind of a year-round conversation now. But certainly, certainly January is a big weight loss is a big topic of conversation.
You know, when we were promoting the show today, most of the questions, and I don't really want to get political, but the president made a statement that these skinny injections, that the prices were going to go way down, but I'm on Ozempic and I don't see it.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see. I know with the there's now a pill version of Wegovy that they're supposed to have some better pricing with, but as of now, no pharmacies have it. So we'll see what the next few months look like.
Casey, what makes your supplements above the rest?
I think the only way that we sell a product is when a licensed healthcare provider recommends and provides our products to their patients. Of course, when a provider makes those recommendations, they're putting their reputation on the line, and they're working closely with their patients, managing labs, managing symptoms. And so the things that they recommend have to work. And so when we're manufacturing, and that's an important part of what we do, is we actually manufacture most of our own products. Providers have to see the changes with their patients. They have to see their lab values improve. They have to see symptoms improve. If they don't see those types of changes when they're recommending our products, they're not going to recommend our products. And if they're not recommending our products, we're not selling products. So our entire business and the success of our business relies exclusively on the ability of our products to drive good outcomes in doctors' offices. So we do everything at a whole nother level, to the absolute highest pedigree, raw material sourcing, our manufacturing practices, the type of testing that we're doing. We can't afford to cut corners in any areas, because if we do, again, and our products stop working in doctors' offices, we're in big trouble.
Tell us, what is new in the dietary supplement industry?
I think the GLP-1s have created a unique market where there's not only kind of these new complementary products, but there's also been a lot of research going into exploring maybe some natural alternatives too. one product that we've been particularly really excited about, and it's a raw material that's been in development for about 10 years now, but because so much of that was interrupted by COVID, it really kind of slowed down their ability to do human clinical studies. And this is a hops extract out of New Zealand, trademarked as Ameritase, and it's got some really unique data. And some of the research that they were doing was really cool in understanding how it was working. But now we actually have some human outcome data that's all really promising.
What does that mean as to getting on the shelves?
Can you say that again?
What does that mean as to how far along are you from getting it to your doctors?
Oh, it's out now. Like I said, the product has existed for a little while now. We just recently partnered with this manufacturer, and are bringing exclusive to healthcare providers the clinical strength version of their product, which is called CaloCurb Clinical, and it directly replicates all of the human trials that have been done on this particular raw material. And we have data, we have early kind of preclinical data showing significant increases in GLP-1 production, significant reductions in hunger and cravings. And just recently, and I can't get too much into the details of this study, but they've unblinded their first actual weight loss study, and we feel really confident in saying that we have something pretty special as far as natural products are concerned, and can absolutely be included in the conversation along with some of the injections.
Casey, you are so right about people wanting instant results.
Right.
And
Yep.
I got to tell you, while you're telling us, I was thinking about all the products that I had tried. And when the first one or two bottles didn't work, it was like, okay, next.
Sure.
And you're in a tough market because you're so right. People want results right away.
And that's what's really cool about this product is, I mean, you're not going to see the pounds falling off from the first capsule, just like you're not going to see the pounds falling off from the first injection, but you feel the effects of it. I mean, for anyone that's out there who has been on the injections themselves, that GLP-1 effect where, with your meals, everything just kind of sits a little bit higher in your sternum, and you're physically not able to eat as much as you typically would. This is a very fast acting product, that, like I said, when dosed before meals with that very first capsule, you do feel the effects of it. So it's unique in the supplement space in that there's immediate feedback and there's immediate buy-in from the patients, getting that sensation of satiety that's ultimately going to drive weight loss.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed was my loss of appetite.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the best way to compare it was a big guy like me could eat a whole pizza. Now, if I look at a whole pizza, it's like I'm lucky to do one, maybe two slices.
Sure. Yep.
Whereas it work on your mind also, Casey?
It works it's both. So it's working in the gut, and then the gut and the brain have a really there's kind of this like information highway called the vagus nerve that are able to send signals back and forth between the gut and the brain. So it does. GLP-1 will actually act as an influencer, as a neurotransmitter in the brain to kind of shut off those hunger signals, shut off those reward signals that are associated with eating, especially like calorie dense, super rich foods. And while the medications are basically just supplying a outside source of this peptide, what's cool about Ameritase, the raw material in CaloCurb Clinical, actually interacts with what are taste receptors in the small intestine, stimulating your body's own production. And so when you swallow that capsule and it works its way through the digestive system, through the stomach, and it gets into the small intestine, it breaks down and it exposes aromatase to all those taste receptors, and then they immediately start increasing GLP-1 production alongside of some other hormones that are involved in hunger and satiety and digestion. So that's part of why it's a kind of an instant feedback product, and you immediately feel that sensation of that in the gut, that slowing of motility. So again, you're physically not able to eat as much as you normally would be able to, but then also sending those signals to the brain, and kind of quieting down that food chatter that people get, that food noise.
What about, I guess, side effects? So that I know one of the side effects for the let's just call it the skinny injection is nausea.
Yeah.
That has been, and I haven't had that much of it, but will there be side effects with this?
There are, but I will say that they are not nearly as significant, and they're different.
Mm.
It's about only about 10% of patients in the research have experienced some side effects, and it's primarily been a little bit of diarrhea in the first few days and a sensation of indigestion, which is just kind of tied to that GLP-1 effect. But again, no nausea, no constipation,
Wow.
no vomiting, none of the none of the longer term implications like pancreatitis, gastroparesis that we're seeing with the injection. So it's proving to be much more tolerable than the medications.
I know your labs are always looking for new innovations. I got to tell you, one of the things I learned with my Ozempic was my lab work. Casey completely got better, and I
Yeah.
can't attribute it to anything else but the Ozempic.
Well, that's,
Will
I
you
mean,
be
yeah,
able to? I'm sorry, go ahead.
say the injections are being, they're seeing a tremendous amount of improvements in not only basic labs, blood sugar regulation, insulin sensitivity, cholesterol. They're seeing inflammation come down. It's being used in, and these are more anecdotal, but being used in, to help manage autoimmune conditions. And so
Mm.
the medications have been tremendous, not only for weight loss, but a whole host of other, um,
Yes.
and that's something that we don't have, that we don't know yet if there are similar effects on lab values with CaloCurb. Again, the 6-month study with the 3-month follow-up was just unblinded and is set to be published in April or May of this month. So we'll have some more answers in that regards. But we do know that the weight loss data is all really good.
Is this something you will have to take for the rest of your life?
Well, like the shots, the ideally no. With some lifestyle modifications, as patients reach a target weight, um, they will be able to transition off of a CaloCurb. And the way that and that is something too that was pretty unique in the study, is they actually, as patients, they took CaloCurb for 6 months. They stopped taking CaloCurb and they followed them for 3 months. In that 3-month period, patients actually continued to lose weight, where with the injections, we typically see a rebounding effect. So there may be something to, again, the way that CaloCurb interacts with your body and actually encourages its own production rather than supplying an outside source of these peptides that may help to influence long-term weight management. But again, we're so early with some of this data that we'll kind of time will tell in that regards.
Casey, how does this compare to the semaglutides and some of the other medications being prescribed for weight loss?
Well, yeah, as it relates to kind of like your Gen 1 semaglutide, and now we have some other peptides out there, tirzepatide. It's fairly it's fairly comparable. Like if I were to say like as a potency scale, semaglutide is going to be a 10 out of 10. Calicurb is probably going to be, in the ballpark of like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. So it's certainly in the same ballpark, and we have confirmed like reductions in caloric intake. That again, it's not the sledgehammer that the medications are, but it is absolutely something that is somewhat comparable to, and will absolutely help folks lose weight, especially those who have maybe tried the injections in the past and weren't able to tolerate the side effects, or maybe they have some health history issues that don't make them a candidate for the injections, or they're injection adverse, needle adverse. There's a whole host of reasons why the medications might not be a good fit. That Calicurb could be a potential alternative for those patients. And that was kind of the original, the genesis of Calicurb, and why it was even, why the funding was even granted to develop the raw material.
I got to tell you, I've got a big gripe with insurance companies, which you have nothing to do with. But, weight gain has it controls so many different health aspects to your body. And I think if insurance companies would get behind like products like yours that could save people's lives. I mean, I don't understand why the hesitation with the insurance companies. I know it's going to be up to the doctors what they decide to market this, but are the prices going to be any lower for this?
Yeah. So you're typically going to look at in the ballpark of $120 to $130 a month for Calicurb.
That's a big difference, Casey.
Yeah, where your injections can, they can be as little as about that much to, multiples of hundreds, pushing $1,000 a month, depending on your insurance.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you have the phone number for the Dr. Walden's office?
Yeah. So it's Dr. Nikki Walden at Victory Wellness MD, and her number is, I can pull it open right here. Her phone number is going to be 469-713-2055.
Okay. It's Dr. Walden. It's Victory Wellness. You can also go to their website at www.vwmdffunctionmedicine.com. Casey, I love having you on the show. You always bring some of the greatest information. I hope we'll see you again next month.
Absolutely. I appreciate
such an important area. Yeah, we love having you. And thanks so much, Casey.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Steve.
It's Casey Sartori, Victory Wellness MD. Hey, I'm so glad we got this show in. Again, we'll be back again with you next week. I hope that the weather is a little warmer in Dallas. Thanks so much, and stay safe.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.